Harry's Wife, part 101.12. I'm still here. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch of the United Kingdom, of course, died last Thursday. Since then, the world has issued forth tribute after tribute, quite rightly, for the sterling reign of this lady who redefined the concept of service. Of course, this is a terrible time for Harry's wife also. Why? She is being monumentally overshadowed. Not only is everybody talking about the magnificent reign of Queen Elizabeth, with some idiots doing so in a less than complimentary manner, but most people doing so, lauding and quite properly praising her, but all of this is attention in relation to the recently deceased monarch. And then people are talking about King Charles III and his reign and his occasional pen malfunctions. They're talking about the new Prince and Princess of Wales. And of course, Harry's wife is being spoken about, but not all of it complimentary, and she's often being ignored. And the fact that so much is being said about the deceased Queen, the new King, the Prince and Princess of Wales, means that all the fuel that she subconsciously believes ought to be hers isn't being received. And she's being wounded by all of this because all eyes are not on the Duchess of Industrial Beige. This scenario is a nightmare for somebody like Harry's wife, someone whose existence is defined by the responses and reactions of other people, means that because everybody is essentially looking elsewhere, she's being starved, wounded. The construct is coming under severe pressure. Of course, she continues to receive fuel from Harry, members of her coterie, and of course the responses and the brickbats that are being slung at her across social media. But the point is, she's not even playing second fiddle. She's not even given a fiddle. She's being made lead electric triangle, stood right at the back with one note to play. On the walkabout, she's overshadowed by the Prince and Princess of Wales, and indeed finds herself being snubbed by certain mourners. More about that later. The fact is, the death of somebody else needs to be commandeered by the narcissist. And the death of a monarch, somebody held in such high esteem and internationally renowned as Queen Elizabeth II, presents a massive, massive problem for Harry's wife. Now, for the rest of you, those that are not narcissists, you get on with your lives. You have varying reactions. For some of you, it really hits you and you were moved to tears. Other people perhaps have taken a moment of silent reflection. Some people have gone and paid their respects, turning up at the various royal houses. Others think it's sad and recognise what Queen Elizabeth did for the country and then get on with their lives. But they don't bring it all about them. They don't make a song and dance. They certainly don't ensure that their PR agency is instructed to say, look at the tribute that I've put here on Archwell. And, of course, we don't need to know that apparently your career move is being put on hold because of the Queen's death. Oh yes, Harry's wife, of course, can't stay out of the limelight, and therefore her PR agency has been instructed to tell everybody, I'm so respectful, and you've got to listen to me, of course, that my latest career move is going to be put on hold because the Queen has died. Don't forget about me, I'm still here. She could just put it on hold and do so quietly. She could just put it on hold and tell nobody. But of course she can't because she's Harry's wife. And so what we get, as described in the list, is this. Harry's wife's latest career move is put on hold amid the Queen's death. Harry's wife's career was on the upswing, if you say so, before the tragic death of Queen Elizabeth II. She and her husband, Prince Harry, were starting to work on their multi-million-dollar Spotify deal, not after considerable time of doing sweet fuck all, where they were focusing on recording podcasts after failing to provide content in the early months of the deal. As mentioned in parts passing, The Spotify broadcasts have all been about her. The podcraps are just basically her chuntering on about herself, with some guests trying to get the odd word in, and Harry making his usual clown cameo role. The article continues. The Duchess of Sussex had recently launched her podcast, Archetypes, which had been met with some controversy. While she was having open conversations with a variety of celebrity guests, not everyone was on board with her latest content. Now, following the passing of the Queen, Harry's wife will take a break from her career. This includes the podcast, which was at the top of the charts in the United States. She'll also be missing an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. A source close to the Duchess told the publication, Harry's wife was due on Fallon. The statement continued, I don't even know what she was going to talk about. Well, it wouldn't have been interesting, let me assure you of that. But that's obviously cancelled now. She was likely going to be discussing her podcast with Fallon. The next episode of her podcast, which was set to hit airwaves on Tuesday, has been pushed back as well. At this time, a date for the next episode has not been given. Harry's wife and Harry are expected to stay in the United Kingdom, where they were at the time of the Queen's passing for a charity event until the funeral. Until then, her career endeavours will be on hold. We neither care nor need to know. But of course, Harry's wife believes that we all need to know that because she's so important that it's necessary for the world to be told, the Queen has died, my career is on hold. You need to know this, okay? This just shows the level of desperation that she exhibits. But it's not just in the list. Oh no, something called NikkiSwift.com has been called into action to tell us about this also. An article by Callie Maguire explains Harry's wife is putting her career on pause after the Queen's death. Prince Harry and Harry's wife are in the headlines after the tragic death of Queen Elizabeth II, only because they insert themselves there. The couple was visiting the United Kingdom and Germany when the monarch died, and many are watching the royal family in the aftermath of the Queen's death. Some royal watchers wonder what Harry's wife will do next, since her August interview with The Cut and Archetypes podcast have created lots of drama. In fact, one royal expert speculates on Harry and Harry's wife's PR scramble after the Queen's death. Royal journalist Kinsey Schofield, the founder of To Die For Daily, told Nikki Swift exclusively that she believes the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are making changes to their strategy. Several of her previous episodes referenced negative experiences, and if she continues to discuss those, it might be a PR nightmare for the Sussexes. Despite such, the royal expert believes there is a chance for Harry, Prince William and King Charles III to heal their wounds. Schofield added, I see reconciliation. Once they are comfortable in their new roles and feel like they are moving in positive direction, they will likely be open to re-engaging. Positive news. In addition, reports are that Harry's wife is putting her career on pause after the Queen's death. Harry's wife put a controversial podcast on hold and cancelled a big media appearance after the Queen's death. An insider told Page 6 that Harry's wife cancelled an interview on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, yada, 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 yada. The New York Times reported on the first speech made by King Charles III. In his speech, the new king said, I want also to express my love for Harry and Harry's wife as they continue to build their lives overseas. Some pundits saw the speech as an olive branch for the Sussexes. Prince Harry and Harry's wife are expected to stay in the United Kingdom until after the Queen's funeral on September the 19th. For those who may have missed it over the years, Harry and Queen Elizabeth were very close, and the Queen had a soft spot for her grandson. Just 2 articles, and there are others, telling us all the extremely important news that Harry's wife is putting her career on pause. You'd actually have to be having a career for it to be paused, but there we are. But once again, this just demonstrates her narcissism in full throttle. The Queen has died, get on with it, do your role, but no, she has to ensure that the attention comes back to her through the release of this PR nonsense, advising people that her career is on hold, because after all, you mustn't forget about Harry's wife, and she has to let you know that she is still here. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.